Good afternoon and welcome. There's no place like your home. One of the viewers asked me about my curtains here on the porch, and I'm always happy to share my tips and ideas that I come up with. And we all know that I'm always looking to save a few pennies any which way that I can, and also primarily really enjoy the aspect of being able to be creative. So that's the most important part for me. Now, for the curtains out here, I got some duck cloth. It's a nice heavy cotton fabric at Walmart. Now, most curtains, if you're going to go at a thrift store shopping, or even if you are going to a regular store, it seems that a lot of the curtains anymore are the average length is 84 inches. I needed something more custom for my porch because the distance is 96 inches. So that's why I got the fabric that I did. And it comes in varying lengths. It's usually 45 or 54. This fabric was 54 wide, so I just cut it right in half, and I was fortunate that it's worked very well for these areas here on the balcony. And also, I was asked about my curtain maintenance. I wash these twice a year, and that might not be your cup of tea, and that's fine. You might maybe want some fabric that's more of just, a wash and wear as need be, or you don't want to be bothered. There are also those bamboo shades that you can draw up and down that are very easy to mount as well. I just enjoy the aspect of washing these, and then I air dry them. I have a dryer rack, and then I press them and starch them. It's kind of an ordeal, but I do enjoy doing that. So, to each his own. But in making these curtains, what I do is, the first thing you want to do is you're going to take your side seams, because when you cut that fabric in the middle, if you need to, you've got an open end there. And all you're going to do, you can measure it with a tape measure, or I just go by my eye, or if you have a fabric like this with a stripe, then there's your your gauge right there. And I'll steam that down, my first fold, and then fold it again and steam it again. And these are a very narrow hem that I put in on the sides because I needed as much fabric as possible, for the width. So these were just a very narrow seam here. And then, as I have said, I do have a sewing machine, and that makes all the difference in, let me just pull this up a little bit because I really want you to see the curtains. In how I can do my work. Now, there's another option as well, and that is you could do this by hand, and I'm sure some people are groaning like, oh my gosh, I'd be forever. But if you do like to craft and do things, that might be some way to pass the time for a while. Or there is a tape, I think it's called Stitch Fix, and it's double-sided. And what you would do then, let's say here's the side of my curtain and I don't have a sewing machine. I'm going to place this down on the main fabric, the Stitch Witch. It's just as wide as tape, and then fold this over under there, and then you use a nice hot dry iron, not a steam iron, but a dry iron, and it will really secure your seam for you. So you can do that as well. So there's 3 options for you. Now I'll show you the hem part first. So let's say this is the bottom of my curtain. So I've got my sides finished. I'm going to again take a piece of the fabric, fold it down, steam it down, or not steam, steam this down, and then steam this again. So I've got a very nicely finished piece of fabric. I mean, if you're really ambitious, you could line these, if you were making drapes for inside of your home if you wanted. Actually, I have one. I'll show you what I did. And so there's your hem, okay, at the bottom of your curtain for the length. And then the same with the top. Now for your header, just take a little piece of the fabric and then you're going to take a bigger piece. Most headers for for a curtain top, and for me this is my inch, I go about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, because you want to get your tension rod or your spring rod through here. And then for the header and the hem, you're going to stitch at the very bottom, right along here, just at the very bottom there. So you have, at least for the header, a nice opening to feed your spring rod through. And that's why you'll do that for the top part. The bottom too is, it just looks nicer. It really does. If you've got a stitch up a little higher on your fabric, it looks professional. It looks very nicely finished. I've just had an interest in all kinds of things, creative, mathematical, architectural, everything over the years. And so now that's why this channel has come about. So there you have, let's get to this, the top of the curtain there. So again, I've done with this fabric what I did with this sample here. Now I'm fortunate, I've got the 2 wrought iron sections here on either side where the tension rod goes through, and I did not have these fasteners that I have up there now for these years. I do get a real wind that comes through here, so I just had to get these secured, and I've used 3 of them, and they're teacup holders. And if you can see this one out here on the roof, the little part of the roof there, and this particular wood is pretty soft, so you just screw them in. And they're originally, like if you had a china closet and you wanted to hang your teacups as part of your display, you just screw these into the wood, and then you've got your C there, your hook there. And I put my tension rod it's holding those on. So there's 1, 2, 3, 1 on either side, and then I put one in the center because for now I've got a Christmas decoration, but in the warm weather I have nice big greens here, and that really gives me the privacy that I desire over here. So again, you're just doing a lot of folding and steaming with your iron. And if you do have a sewing machine, that is the best way to do this, or the Stitch Fix, or even just by hand. So I want to also again show you this topper for my chandelier. It's a plate rack, and I've said this several times, but what I did was just screw in, like there's the way the rack goes, I've just screwed into the wood here, and it holds that up there. And you could change colors with that for yourself if you did something like that. I mean, don't limit yourself to the ideas that you can come up with, especially when you have so many things around, you're not sure what to do with them. It's all about your creativity and your home. And let me straighten this out. And just what makes you feel, that there is no place like your home, and you don't have to break the bank. If you can go out and do it up at the stores, I mean, go for it. There are interior decorators, there are designers. I would love to be able to afford to be able to do that, but this is what works for me. I have found that just this weight of this fabric and just the look for this small space, it's 4 by 13, that I do want something up here, but nothing that's so overwhelming. You have to kind of weigh those things in as well, the math, the symmetry, and that's just along the lines that I think, and I enjoy doing that. So always glad to give you a tip, help you out, save $1, recycle things, repurpose things. You don't have to break the bank in order to have a wonderful life. I would like to extend to you and your family a very happy, healthy, prosperous, money-saving 2024. I know I am so looking forward to it. So thank you. I'll see you again. You take care. Bye-bye. I don't think my remote's working. Okay. See ya.